Joined again by Sandra Jones, the Queen of Data and boss of Dataloft. Thanks for joining me today, Sandra.
Pleasure.
Dataloft Inform is a product which estate agents use to prove their knowledge in the property market. But what not a lot of people know is that you do bespoke reports for some of the biggest names in the industry about how the Brits see housing and where it's going in the future. So one of the things I want to talk to you about is, green issues. The environment are certainly going up through the roof in terms of importance. How is green issues rising up the agenda going to affect the property market in the future? Talk to me.
So there is the policy coming in around EPC certificates, which is going to affect rental property, and that's had quite a lot of attention, hasn't it? That's very real. The thing about the rental market rather than the sales market is that things tend to come through the system much quicker because renters get the opportunity to make decisions about where they live every year, whereas homeowners, the cycle is much longer. So in the rental market, you do see those kind of trends and themes coming, starting to have an influence much faster. Also because the rental market is quite dominated by young people. Young people have been particularly concerned about, the environment, and so it's higher up their agenda, and they can make decisions based on how they feel. There's something else going on in the rental market, which is the rise of the institutional rental sector, build to rent. Very small at the moment, but growing very, very fast. And they really think about what is going to give them competitive advantage. And one of those things is to say, we care about the environment. We've addressed issues around biodiversity and carbon footprint and so on. So in the rental market, I see those issues coming through much faster.
But if you think about it, because of the rising gas and electricity bills, it's not just because you're green and hippie. The simple fact is it's going to cost you more of this.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And that's where you've got the sort of principled ideology, do I care about the planet? And then you've got the practical, are my costs going up? And this summer, actually, after the summer we've had, even the planet stuff has become more of a real immediate issue, hasn't it? So
yeah, I mean, we're all guilty of leaving the heating on a bit too long. I don't think that's going to happen. And actually, it will reduce our bills and indirectly our carbon footprint. Where do you see, there's talk about mortgages being priced on EPC ratings. Is that a good thing, do you think?
Is that a good thing? I mean, in terms of having nudge policies that actually nudge us towards where we have got a very, very short time to reach our net zero targets. So any sort of policy that helps to nudge us in that direction, I have to support. Morally, I have to support it. So yes. And so that will then, of course, feed through to the sales market more quickly as well as the.
What do you think estate agents could do and letting agents to help the cause and help themselves?
I mean, obviously, I think every estate agent should have a sustainability policy. Every business should have a sustainability policy, and that means making your team more aware. Even things as small as, thinking about your emails and deleting emails and not keeping big documents because they take energy from the data centres. I don't know if you've seen those stats that have come out in the last couple of weeks about they're having huge stresses on the power supply in West London, and it's because of all the data centres down that sort of A4, M4 corridor, and around Park Royal. In Ealing, they're virtually getting power outages, and that is really shocking. So the grid is under pressure, and it's coming from data centres because of saving or not deleting emails and not deleting downloads and having heavy little logos and things on our emails. So that's something, just to become aware of stuff like that. If you're doing print, which most agents will, and it does work, so of course they're going to do it, but think about your carbon offset. Something like Spectre's done that, haven't they? Because they're aware that they encourage print, but they've offset, and you can do that. And there are businesses that help you do that. So do your carbon offset. Think about your car miles, your petrol miles with your, because agents do have to zip around in cars. So there's lots of things you can do within your own business to think about, about these issues. And then there's about the housing market. And that's more difficult for agents to influence, but obviously they will, just from a pure marketing point of view, they will be talking about energy efficiency and so on.
I mean, certainly I can foresee tenants on low EPC properties moving out and going to better EPC rating properties simply because it's going to cost them less. And that could actually drop rents in the lower EPC properties, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, actually, is it 2025? You can't even occupy as a renter a property below C. So it's going to happen anyway. The landlords will have to bring up the standards of their ratings. But yeah, I mean, for tenants, for renters, energy costs will be a huge consideration this winter.
Especially because as a tenant, it takes a greater proportion of their take-home pay compared to homeowners.
Yeah.
Interesting times ahead. Thank you for your insight.
Pleasure.